dun, 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 dun. Icónica. Have you ever had that feeling that your life looks right from the outside, but it doesn't feel like yours on the inside? Like you're doing everything that you're supposed to do. You're training, you're working, you're showing up, you're trying to be better, and still something feels off. There's something that it's not wrong, it's just not yours. Friedrich Nietzsche believed something that most of us don't ever want to admit. Most of people, they never become who they are. They become what is expected of them. And in your 20s, especially as a woman, that expectation is everywhere. How you should look, how you should behave, when you should settle down, and what success looks like to you. The real question here is not who am I, it's how much of me is actually mine. Friedrich Nietzsche had a term called the Übermensch, which translates to Superman, that can be defined as someone who is above something. Not like it's better than anyone else or it's a god. It's someone who was able to go and made a step forward into who he can be. And this Superman that Übermensch had 3 phases, and he called the first one the Camel, because you are the one who carries, who adapts, who endures, who says yes. This is where most of us begin. You learn to be agreeable, disciplined, acceptable, you learn how to behave. You become the good girl. You take on expectations without questioning them. And you carry on your back, just like a camel, your parents' standards, society's timelines, other people's definitions of success and what life should be about. And you do it well. Because as women, we are rewarded for adapting, for being easy to like, easy to manage, easy to define. But there is a quiet cost. Because the more you adapt, the further you drift from yourself. Just like in the movie Devil Wears Prada, Andy, she doesn't fall apart, she succeeds. But in some point she looks at her life and realizes that she doesn't recognize it. This is the camel phase. Not failure, but over-adaptation. After you move from this phase and you ask yourself, what is this all for? Do I even like what I'm doing? You step on to the second phase, which is the lion, where things stop working. The identity that you built, it feels heavy. And in this questioning of things, you become uncomfortable, because saying no means disappointing a few people. It means risking being misunderstood. As a woman, as you stop adapting and you become something else, you start to be emotional or intense or too much. It's the moment that everything stops collapsing. The relationships that you have no longer work anymore. You stop people pleasing. You have this kind of confusion that you know that it's leading you to something better. Just like in a movie, Eat, Pray, Love, she walks away from a life that's comfortable, that is easy, but she cannot be accepted anymore. This is the lion phase. Not clarity, defiance, saying this is not me. Even if you don't know who you are. Of course, that between who you were and who you're not yet, there's some space, there's a void, and you may feel lost, disconnected, and uncertain, but don't panic. Even if society doesn't give you space, you have to find the time, you have to find the acceptance to not be fully who you want to be yet. You need to build patience. This phase is very necessary. It's where you meet yourself without any rules, without the performance. Nothing dramatic happens, but something shifts internally. This is the void. and it feels like nothing, but it's actually space. Nietzsche's final phase is the child, in a sense that it's not naive, it's creative, it's pure creative force. A child, someone who doesn't know anything about universe, someone who is adaptable, who sees everything with wow and wonder. And you become this person not from pressure but from alignment. And everything changes when you start asking, what feels true to me? This is when your practices comes in. Training, yoga, breathing, and you do that not as punishment but as an expression. And the sensitivity becomes a strength also. You just feel more. And when you regulate yourself, this becomes clarity. Ideas from being too sensitive and manifestation, they actually start working as magic but as awareness. Your internal state shapes how you move through the world. And slowly stop trying to become impressive and start to become honest. So maybe your 20s aren't about finding yourself. Maybe they are about going through these 3 phases: carrying what's not yours, breaking what doesn't fit, sitting with the unknown, slowly creating something real. You don't need to add more discipline, more perfection, more control. It's not about adding, but it's about removing what's never yours to begin with. All the things that you were taught, all the beliefs, all the criticism, you start going one by one and reframing it, adapting to your own truth. And you remove until there's nothing left to remove, until you see something that you finally can recognize. Because you're not here to fit in someone's molds, you're here to create your perfect life. A one that fits you.